feeling cold against your skin. Running through the chaos, letting all the sin. Temptation in a bottle, ready for the night. Craving for the thrill, it's time to ignite. Dark desires burning bright. Echoes in the dead of night. No retreat, no looking back on this heart attack.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Good to be back on this, Monday for you guys, Tuesday for me. Coming to you from a very, very dreary, wet, cold Melbourne today. It is winter, very winterized down here at the moment. Here, let me get set up and I'll come talk to you guys. How are you? Yeah, it's like the winter had just turned on all of a sudden down here. A couple of weeks ago, we were getting still days like 20 degrees, 25 degrees, and now it's like, here's your Antarctic winds and cold. And now it's like freezing down here. If we don't get snow in the next few weeks or something, I would be very surprised at how cold it's getting already. So, hey, good to see you guys on this Sunday night. Monday night for you guys. Monday night. Ping, not Sunday night. By the way, I watched that Four Corners last night and about Jodie, and I can tell you that in the whole episode is not about her. I can't play the episode for you because it'll be copyright, but I can just show you how long the segment sort of is. It sort of goes from about here, sort of here. So it's about 8 minutes long. And they go through everything that I told you yesterday, including those messages that the officer sent to another officer, like bragging about how they had emptied a couple of cans onto Jodie. And the footage that was on last night was a lot more revealing than the footage, the 36 seconds that we got to watch yesterday. This one's a lot longer, and it is a lot more graphic. It is blurred, but it just shows a lot more of what they did to her, including Jodie telling them to go away. She's like, go away, you can't do anything to me, go piss off, like, I'm fine. Even though, like, I don't even know if she realizes that she's naked at the time, but maybe she does, maybe she doesn't. You're stuck here at the airport in Vegas. I heard that in Vegas, a lot of flights were being canceled due to weather. And this was happening a couple of weeks ago when EDC, Electric Daisy Carnival in Las Vegas, was happening about 3 weeks ago. They had the same issue. People flying out on the Monday had their flights either canceled or delayed because there were like high winds and weather and stuff. I don't know if that's what's happening to you, but the same thing was happening in Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago. So I hope you get home. So there you go. Yeah, so if you guys want to watch it, I will put the link in the chat to the ABC, and you guys can hopefully watch the whole episode. I'm hoping you'll be able to, and you can there you go. You can watch it. The whole episode is about police brutality, but the only bit I'm interested in is in the bit about Jodie. But yeah, you can watch the whole thing if you want. It's like 40 minutes long, and it's just on the website, so I think you should be able to access it. I don't think it is geo-locked. I think it's just open, so you guys should be able to watch it, and you can learn more about Jodie and her family. And yeah, it was very eye-opening, and they had a lot of other cases. All these different cases that you see here on the screen, these were all tried in court and actually found guilty. So all these officers went above and beyond their calling in the law and did the wrong thing. So there you go. Hey, Ezra, how are you? Macy said, yeah, good to see you. That's right. We were supposed to leave before another count. 1:50 a.m. Really? You're supposed to go just before 5 o'clock, and then now looking at like 1 a.m. in the morning, 2 a.m. in the morning. Far out. It's not surprising. Like air travel just always happens, right? That's what happens. Something goes wrong and it's a cascading effect on everyone. It just, these people get pushed back, so the next ones get pushed back. And same thing happened to us when we were going to the wedding in Tasmania. You guys know that story, right? If you were here back then. Me and Mrs. Ping flew in the day. So Friday is when most of the family were flying in. We flew on the Thursday because we wanted an extra day to kind of relax before all the mental family events kind of started. We wanted a day to chill out, get to the hotel, have a sleep, and be okay for the next day. The rest of the family flew on the Friday, and it's so lucky that we did not fly on the Friday, because when the family were going to fly, the plane broke down and they were basically going to tell the family, you won't get to your daughter's wedding. They were like, you're not going to get there. They're like, we can't fly you today. You're going to have to take a flight tomorrow morning. And on the Saturday morning was the wedding. And I can just tell you that the family was like, no, we are going and we are flying today. And they're like, we don't care what you have to do. We have a wedding tomorrow morning. You have to find us a flight. After a lot of arguing with the gate people, they eventually booked them on the last flight of the day. A couple of them went on the early flight. They were able to find a couple of seats and get people to take the Saturday flight. And then the rest of them flew on the very late flight, the last flight of the day. So yeah, it happens to us. It happens to everyone, apparently. It just happens to everyone when they fly. I think nowadays you just got to assume when you go to the bloody airport that you're not going to go on time. I think if you go on time, you have to take that as a good thing. You go, oh my God, I flew on time. So, thank you. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, she made it home. That's good. I'm glad. I hope no one got sick at the event. Danny said, "Yeah, hey buddy, good to see you. Good to see you." Montana said, "Flying is never a pleasure. I don't like flying. That flight to Tasmania, I am never going to Tasmania ever again. I don't. It's not like we went on one of those big planes like in America where you fly on those really big planes with a jet engine and no, 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 no. We flew on the smallest plane across a giant bit of water, which is the most notorious stretch of water in Australia. And the whole way there was turbulence. I was literally white because we sat on row 1 right over the propellers, and every time it dropped, it was all never. Yeah, it was a Dash 8. Yeah, it was a Dash 8. That's what we took to Tasmania. Never, ever again. I will never fly Dash 8 again in my life. I'd have to be dead. They're awful. Normal plane with a jet engine, no worries. I'll fly on it. Dash 8, no way. They're just terrible, and the turbulence on them is way worse. They really feel the bumps, those stupid planes. Yeah, can't stand them. They're just you try do those planes over water, not over land like in America, over water. That's what made it so scary, because out of either side of the window, all you can see is freaking ocean. And you're like, well, if we go down, there's no islands to land on. Where exactly would we land? In the freaking water. That's where. So no, I ain't never flying Dash 8 ever again. Hopefully the relative never gets married again and we don't have to go to Tasmania. Juicy said, how terrible small planes bumpy ride make you feel sick? I was woozy when I got off that one. There was no break in it. It was just up and down, up and down, up and down the whole 2-hour flight. There was just, as soon as we got in the air, it was like turbulence. The flight back was actually a little better because we were going into the wind was on our tail. So we were getting pushed back to Melbourne basically. And we were right on the back of the plane. So we learned a trick, which is that you book your seats the night before when seating opens. We didn't know you had to do that. That's why we were stuck in the first row on the way there. on the way back, I booked my seats as soon as they opened, and I chose the very last row, right down the back near the stewardess ladies, and that was much better, much better. Warner Steele said, "I'd much rather ditch in water, Ping." You ever been to Australia? Do you understand what lives in the water between Victoria and Tasmania? Some of the largest great white sharks on Earth. I don't think you'd make it. They'd just be like, "Oh, someone has air delivered our lunch." They would just be like, "Oh, great, lunch is here, guys. Here, let's go eat." That's what it's like. Like that bit of water is just full of great whites. All right. Let's talk about what happened in Las Vegas right here. Let's talk about what happened in Las Vegas. So last night we were talking about this. So not only was apparently CrimeCon on, there was a barrel horse event in Las Vegas on the same weekend apparently, and this girl went into a competitor. This competitor girl, her name is Emily. She went into the stables for the horses and stabbed them. Not like just gave them like a poke or something. Like she had a weapon, like a bladed weapon, and she wanted to take out the competition. I've never heard of something so just horrible to do. Like, what did the horse do to you? Why would you do that to the poor horse? You want to attack the competitor or something, I guess. I mean that's not advisable either, but I mean, I get competitive nature or something, but to attack the animal itself makes no sense at all. You're not the mafia. Why are you running around attacking horses? Here, I'm going to try find there was a photo. Yeah, this one. Yeah. No, not that one. That's okay. I got another one. So this is her here, Emily Grace. Emily, barrel racer, horse trainer, and apparently attempted horse murderer. Attempted horse murder. And you go, Ping, why are we talking about this? And I'm like, well, why not? Because it's still a pretty bad crime, right? And we talk about crimes on this channel. So this is her, and I'm going to show you another photo. There's a photo of her. Apparently, one of the other trainers who is quite famous in the barrel racing world says that this young girl, Emily, was very obsessive and would contact her, comment on all her posts, talk about her horse, and was just very over the top with her affection for this other racer. And it was her horse was one of the horses who was injured in the attack from Emily. I'm just going to try. There was a video of the horses, poor things. I'm just going to see if I can find it. Yes, here. Here's one of the horses after being stitched up, and you can see what this poor horse went through. Look at some of these wounds on the horse, the poor thing. And this is after a vet had already come in and stitched the poor animal up. But this was not like a mistake. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that one's pretty deep too. There might be another one down here. So she's really gone gung ho at this poor thing. And yeah, I don't know what drives a person at 17 or anyone to do this. It's really shocking, really sad. It's you know, attacking animals is just the lowest of low. It really, to me, it is. I think it's the lowest thing you can do. And the poor horse had to go through being, stitched up by a nurse. The poor thing. He's all like, why are people doing this to me? I'm just a horse. I'm just here to do the barrel racing. Why are people like putting needles in me and stitching me and stuff? Poor guy. Gayla said she went for the muscles. Yeah, she seemed to go for the front, the ones connected to the front legs. They that seems to be what they were looking at. So this is another horse, and this one is being tended to. It's shocking. It really is. I don't know. It's really sad to me that someone would hurt a horse like that. So she's been taken into custody, right? And according to all the trainers whose horses were injured, the most severe one was a horse called Detail, and that is the horse that the young girl Emily was attracted to. That's the one that she had been messaging the rider, commenting on everything, being really obsessive about Detail. And they're saying here that Detail's okay, but apparently, I don't think a horse likes being stabbed with a sharp implement. And they're saying that the horse is still recovering. I'm just trying to see who's Kira. Kira. Okay, that's Rocket. So the one you guys see in the photo here being stitched up, this horse's name is Rocket. There is another horse called Sully, and then the third horse is Detail, and Detail is the one that copped the worst treatment, according to this. And the brown horse, the dark brown horse that we had on the screen before, this one, this is Detail. So this is the one that copped the worst injuries. Now, Detail's been patched up in this photo and looking a little worse for wear, but I hope it'll be okay. But yeah, it really went. Is it jealousy? Is the girl jealous that her horse is not as nice as Detail or something? I don't know. Kathy said you can never trust a person who hurts animals. It's a trend of some psychopathic people. Yeah, people with what they call a behavior disorder now. Gail said they look like deep punctures. That's not good for a working horse. Maybe they can't do the barrel racing anymore. That would be very sad. Jesse said they also had local lidocaine. Yes, they probably had a numbing agent put in, of course, but terrible. Marlene said 3 horses were stabbed and they have her for animal cruelty and damage to property over 5K. Yes, we detailed that on the show last night. Now, they did an interview on one of the local news channels in Nevada, and if I can grab it for you, we can watch it. Is it this one? I think it's LV8 is the one I'm looking for. No. Give me a second, guys. I'm just trying to find. There was a nice video. Not Channel 5. We must have closed it. Good work, Ping. Oh, no, here it is. I found it. We got too many links open. So I'm going to take you to ABC 13 KTNV Las Vegas. And this is the report they put out today.
What should have been a weekend celebrating horses and competition turned into a criminal investigation here at South Point. Las Vegas Metro Police say that a teenage girl is facing multiple felony charges after 3 horses were allegedly stabbed.
So my initial thought, because I do know the young lady, my initial thought was disbelief.
The National Barrel Horse Association Super Show had brought riders from across the country to Las Vegas this weekend. But overnight Friday, the event took a shocking turn.
My first question was, are you sure? Is there a video? Are we 100% sure? This doesn't seem like it's real.
Las Vegas Metro Police say officers responded around 2 a.m. Saturday to reports of an injured horse inside the barns at South Point. When officers arrived, they found 3 horses had been intentionally injured with what investigators described as a sharp object. Police say detectives identified a teenage girl as a possible suspect, claiming she had access to the barn area and may have used a knife to inflict the injuries. I spoke with Tilly Jinsky, president of the Clark County Barrel Racing Association, who also competed against the suspect during the event. She says many in the horse community are still trying to process what happened.
We all know her as Emily. She had a huge heart for horses. Her passion, her entire life, she lived, breathed horses.
Tilly tells me the barn area is typically considered a safe space for riders and their horses.
As competitors, we all have access. It's just free reign, basically. Even as a spectator, you can go down into the barn. Nobody really checks. There's no credentials to get into the barn.
Tilly also says the suspect messaged her just hours before the
Sorry, did she just say that there's no credentialing and anyone can just head down to the barn? Maybe you should think back on that and maybe don't do that. I can't believe she's just like, yeah, people head down to the barn. It's buffering? I'm buffering? Oh, it's buffering? Is everyone buffering? That's weird. We shouldn't be buffering. Not buffering here. Maybe it's a YouTube thing, guys. I'm sorry if you're buffering. It could be a YouTube. Sometimes that happens. So sorry if that's happening to you. All right. Yeah, it seems to be might be a more localized problem. So I am confused why they would not have some sort of security if these horses are worth so much. If it happens with these horses, why would you not check people? Like, they're worth a lot of money. They win prize money. I can't imagine if you went to the Kentucky Derby, you wouldn't be allowed to go down to the stables, right? You wouldn't be allowed to go down there and go see the horses, would you? I don't think so. Hold on, can you? I don't think so. Let's see. Apparently, you cannot freely wander into the restricted backside stable area due to the Kentucky Derby due to tight security. Maybe they should think about doing something similar for the barrel racing. I know that it probably wouldn't have helped in this situation because Emily was a competitor and she obviously would have had access to the area, but you know, maybe in the future just to keep them safe. Hey, SP Mama, how are you? Oh no, I hope you got back from your appointment okay. Jesse said Derby horses have their grooms sleep in the stables often. Those are just words to me. I don't know what that means. The horse has someone they get married to? You guys are talking a foreign language. All you horse girls out there, you guys are talking a foreign language to me. Gail said those are race horses, but for other show horses you can. Why? If these horses are event horses, there should be some security where like you can't get back there. Like they cost money, right? These horses, some of them are $1 million horses. Some of them win like $80,000, $20,000. Like, it's a lot of money. Yeah, but it's a lot. You should have some restrictions on who can go there. Juicy said she won't be allowed barrel races. Yeah, she won't. I'll be surprised if she's ever allowed around an animal ever again. Gail said that person that looks after the horses sleep there. Okay. That's what they call it, a groom? Okay. Marlene said horses like company and often the horse has a goat as a companion. What? That's so cute. Groom person who cares for the horse. Ah, okay. Juicy said security even at our neighborhood Walmart. Even at a neighborhood Walmart. That's where they keep the horses, at the Walmart. Yeah. Look, it's a bit of a strange interview. Let's listen to what else they have to say.
incident.
She messaged me my video, which I competed about 9 p.m. and she had sent me the text at 1:29 a.m. So, of course, I saw it the next morning. I didn't even reply because my phone was already ringing.
The suspect now faces 12 counts of animal cruelty involving horses, along with 3 felony counts of destruction of property. Channel 13 learned the horse's injuries are not considered life-threatening. And Tilly says the incident has left many people in the tight-knit barrel racing community heartbroken.
We pray will never repeat itself. I mean, if there's a way to prevent this, let's do it. Let's work as a community, support one another, and definitely hold her accountable.
Las Vegas Metro Police say the investigation remains active. Anyone with information is urged to contact them or Crime Stoppers. In Southwest Las Vegas, I'm Shakira Hawkins.
You know, it's disappointing to me that the punishment for this girl that attacked the horses is probably going to be just about nothing. I think in Las Vegas for this particular crime, there can be jail, but the majority of statistics that I viewed basically says it's a fine and probation. So while this girl did something horrible and will probably be remembered in the barrel racing circuit for it, she's probably not going to do any jail time over it, unfortunately. Jesse said they don't win as much as derby horses, but barrel racing or hunter jumpers can go for stupid amounts of money. That's what I mean. You wouldn't want anyone around your horse, right? They're like valuable. Espion said that's where the grooming title comes from. Josie's the dogs in all the best of show. The groomers train the animal to how they want. Okay. I've never heard that word before. Jill said the girl had been stalking so other people had come forward and said that this girl had been bothering them, messaging them, being like overly complimentary to their horses in a weird way. Almost like, can I come hang out? Can I come see the horse? Oh, your horse is so pretty. Why can't your horse be like my horse? That type of thing. Like just really sort of oddly parasocial. Oddly parasocial. Espion said, your dry has a screw loose. Yeah, I mean, at 17, she decided to take out the competition and attack these horses. It's bizarre offending. It really is. You know, to do that. So imagine that's you. You go down to this event. You're like, oh my God, I'm going to like the big barrel racing event in Nevada, right? And your plan is, I'm going to sneak in there with a knife and, be a bit stabby with the horses. You have to be a little bit crackers in the head to be able to do that. You have to be a little crackers. Got to be a bit crackers. Was she going to poison? No, I don't think she's going to poison them. Didn't hear anything about their food being altered or anything like that or being injected. Jill said her mother had been talked to and warned that her daughter was behaving strangely and needed help. I heard that there was multiple people in this like horse field that were aware of her. Like that's what I read about earlier, is like she was well known to the point that people had tried to sort of not mentor her, but sort of keep an eye on her, if that makes sense. They sort of act friendly. You know, the sort of like keep your enemies closer type thing. Sort of like that. They were sort of keeping a watchful eye on her, but it didn't work. I'm just trying to see if there was anything else here. Someone posted online saying, I just graduated with this girl. We went to the same school. I didn't know her personally, but friends who do say she has a history of doing things that went along the lines of being very mentally unwell. And that is coming from someone who went to school with her. Bizarre. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else here. According to another post, apparently she was known to have stalking type behavior. Like that's not my words. That's just the words of a channel that deals with horses, a channel called Horse Habit TV. They are obviously a horse-centric kind of thing. His name is Paul Mueller. I don't know who Paul Mueller is. Maybe the people in the horse world know, but that is what they were posting about, saying that she was well known for this type of thing. I'm just trying to see what else I can find. Yeah. So this person called Paul Mueller. I don't know who Horse Habit TV is. And then, yeah, they're saying someone even messaged her mom about her bizarre behavior. So there you go. That's coming from Horse Habit TV. Hey Ezra. Hey, thank you so much. That's so kind. Ezra, Essa. I'm gonna call you Essa. Thank you very much. That is very kind. Thank you for the super chat. The people who support this channel are very kind, very, very kind, and I appreciate it. Maryland said Tonya Harding hitting Nancy Kerrigan's knee. It is a little bit like that, isn't it? But with horses and people, it is a little bit like that, taking out the competition. Kelly said, as in she stalked the sort of both. She would find these big personalities in the barrel racing world. So in that world, there's some very famous ones like that horse called Detail. That one is very well known. Her rider is very well known. And so she would sort of get this, she would get like an attachment, like a parasocial attachment to these horses and the riders. And then she would take it too far and she would sort of become overbearing in ways. I did, didn't I? Yeah. Thank you, my friend. It's very, very kind. Very, very kind. Thank you for supporting the channel. It's very sweet of you. Jilcy says, yeah, he's not allowed to play anything. Why does that keep going away? Sorry, I keep putting it up and then it keeps, because I keep touching other comments. Good work, Ping. Sorry, I was putting it up and then it would go away and I was like, why wouldn't it stay there? And it was because I kept touching other people's comments. Jules said, I'm sure she's obsessed over all kinds of things. I think it takes a certain personality type to actually go into a barn and physically hurt. It's one thing to sort of do that first bit that we're talking about, messaging the riders, trying to get overly comfortable and familiar, being, far too parasocial, trying to be like, have that connection with them. It's another thing to actually then partake in actually sneaking into the stables, taking a knife with you. And then the third thing is actually committing the act. Like you, at any point in that chain reaction, you can back out, you can stop and go back the other way, right? But when you commit that act with the knife, it's over. You've done it. And I think it takes a certain personality to actually do that and actually damage a horse in that way. And that's where the problem is. There's all sorts of people have all sorts of ideas and think they're going to do something and they don't. But it's the actual act of it, and to not only do it once, but then to go to 2 other horses and do the same thing. There's the problem. And this girl needs a lot of help because one day it's horses, the next day it's her husband. And you go, Ping, that's crazy. But it's not. If she finds it so easy to hurt a giant animal like that, she could easily hurt, her boyfriend, her husband, her mom, anyone who sort of disagreed with her or got in her way. It could easily turn to be a homicide situation. So you've got to be very careful, and she needs a lot of evaluation to find out where is that desire coming from to go and hurt a horse like that. Why would you want to do that? Or kids, yeah, or children. Kelly said exactly, there's something off in her head, definitely. Burn, 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 yeah. Jill said she hung around to see her results. Coco for Cocoa Puffs. She is a little Coco. She's a little bit crackers. Gail said all the houses would be all the horses would be going mad. As soon as she started hurting the first horse, she's actually lucky one didn't kill her. I'm surprised that the racket in the barn didn't alert people, because normally the horses are pretty quiet, right? Especially when they're chilling and sort of just being horses. If they start, yelling and whatever they do, whatever the noise that horses make, they start going off their head, it would normally alert the people looking after them. So interesting. What's more interesting is that the cops didn't have to look very far. They just went, "Oh, it's her," and they got her within hours of the attack on the horses. Like, they just went, "Yeah, it's Emily." That is a problem when they're just like, "Yeah, we know who it is." That is telling everyone that that you all were aware of her issues, that you all were aware of what she was like. All right, I'm going to try to look at one other thing. I like how they were like, there's a news article here, and they're like, some horses were injured at a barrel racing event, and this is the photo they used. Check this out. Some horses were injured at a barrel racing event. I don't know about you, but this doesn't look like a barrel racing event to me, and I don't even know what that is. This looks like Brumbies or some sort of horses in the wild. They're just like, yeah, let's just get a photo of some horses. What do they look like? Doesn't matter. I'll just get a photo. Does it have to be related to the event? Nah, just get some photo of a horse. Let me have a look. I just want to see if they've got anything new. Who claimed? One person on Facebook claimed, "I just heard the news of a 17-year-old girl stabbing 3 horses." And one of them said slitting another's throat. Well, that never happened, not that we know of. And they're saying, "This is a sick individual and has all the signs of a serial killer." I don't think it has the signs of a serial killer. I think that is a very simplistic ideal or way of thinking of what a serial killer is. While it is a sign of someone with a behavior disorder, not always do people who hurt animals become a serial killer or a murderer. Sometimes it can be a different type of behavioral defect. It's not always related to serial killers, although we know of famous examples for it. Kelly said, "Was this barrel racing at it like an event or like a rodeo?" I think it was like just for barrel racing. Hold on. What was the event called? I think that's what it is. It's just for that. What was it called? It's called the 2026 National Barrel Horse Association Professionals Choice Las Vegas Super Show. That is the longest title in the world. What is that? What is that? I'm going to go to their website and check out like what they actually do there. What do they do? It's like a multiple. So they started on May 27th on Wednesday. And they had just had races. So on Friday there was an open race at 8 a.m. And then on Saturday there was another one, race number 2, followed by a youth and senior race. And then that was on Saturday. And then on Sunday there was Cowboy Church and Redwood Tree Room. I don't know what that is, but there was something there at 8 a.m. And then at 7 a.m. there was a third race. So they had 3 different races, and it went from Wednesday to Sunday. So it was like a big event just for that. It wasn't a rodeo or anything. And the prize money, here, check this out. I mean, it's money. Friday open, 2,500 added. I don't know what that means. I guess that means more money on top. Saturday was a $10,000 double. Top 5 in the wild cards are awarded. Entry fees. Side pots, whatever that is. Stall info. Looks like it was a pretty big event. Guys, hold on a sec. Sorry about that. That was it was just weird. There was like something going on out there. Stuck at the airport. Everyone's stuck at the airport. Some people watch barrel racing just to see the barrels crash. I hope not. They might have to put the horses down. Jess, I'll have a look. Post. Okay. Let me have a look what Jess sent. Oh, this is from Ariel Phillips. She says, my mare Detail was one of the 2 horses that were stabbed. There's actually 3 horses, I think, not 2. What did she say? It was at about 11 p.m. I was sitting with Detail at her stall for an hour. This girl came by twice trying to make conversation and ask weird questions. She clearly kept coming back to check if I had left yet because this was premeditated. 2 minutes after I left her stall just after midnight, this psychopath went in and brutally stabbed Detail 6 times at 12:04. Cameras show her going into her stall, causing Detail to go frantic and get loose, taking off through the barn aisles, blood pouring everywhere. This girl had the nerve to call my boyfriend's daughter. What? This girl had the nerve to call my boyfriend's daughter while I literally just got back into the room after leaving Detail, stating she found Detail with her stall door open. She says that is impossible. I latch it and triple wrap. So she wraps the lead around it and stated that Detail looked like she was quivering. So she looked into her stall to find her bleeding and said Detail cut herself in the stall. She said she was trying to go in there to stop the blood after this woman says she left less than 2 minutes beforehand. She says that is impossible. We told her do not go in her stall, leave her alone, and that we are coming right down. I rushed down to find her hosing off Detail's wounds. I walked up to Detail, and this mare who loves and trusts me with her life jumped away in fear. As I reached my hand out, my blood boiled in that moment. This was a human attack. My mare would not jump and shy away from my hand like that unless someone reached out like that to hurt her. I immediately suspected this girl. She said she called Stephanie Langdon at 12:30, who immediately got up and rushed down with Wayne to attend to Detail and stitched her up immediately. This girl stuck around as I stood there holding Detail. Once the wounds were cleaned, the vet confirmed these were perfect stab wounds and there was no way it was anything else. As soon as I said exactly someone did this to her, the girl quickly said she had to leave and that her grandmother was waiting for her, and she left. 2 minutes later, we noticed her lingering the aisles from afar, keeping an eye on what we were doing. She never left, only to find out hours later after sitting with the police and private investigators at 3 a.m., only to find out later that other horses were injured. And they're saying that she can't even put into words the pain I feel for my mare and for the other horse. The other horse is called Sully. The mare that would walk away from a fresh pile of hay just to come greet me and love on me. She now does not let me even put my hands near her. She is traumatized. Every time she runs away from the approach of my hand, I burst into tears. This is my best friend, an innocent, sweet horse who only knows how to give me her all, was brutally tortured for no reason. You don't mess with my animals and you don't mess with this mare. I will not stop until Detail and I receive justice. Wow. It's a brutal side effect for it. The fact that now the horse won't even go near her, won't like let her pat the horse or tend to her. The poor thing thinks humans are gonna hurt her. And that's sad. That's really sad that the now that trust between animal and human is broken. And who knows if that horse will ever be okay. It may never trust a human ever again because it was hurt so badly by this 17-year-old girl. But when you hear the details in that, it I don't know what was going on with this girl. So well, I mean, it was obviously premeditated. That's not even a question. The the fact that she was like hanging around looking at what was going on, that's very disturbing. The fact that she wanted to see the distress in the owner and the horse is why did they I want to sort of know. Look, I know people in the horse world are very friendly. I know they love their community and they want everyone to be a part of it, right? They want everyone to sort of be friends and have a good time. But something should have been off when that girl was hanging around the stables at midnight. As you see, the events in this bloody thing are really early. Like, look, if we look at this webpage here, the events are very early in the day, probably to help the horses not get overworked. Open arena exhibition. So 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Thursday was an open arena. And then same on Wednesday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. was an open arena. And then Saturday had a open race at 8 a.m., followed by a youth and senior class. And then the same thing on Sunday. So a lot of the events were done quite early. Can we get a video of what it looks like? Let me see if I can get a video of what it looks like. Just trying to see if they have a YouTube page. I think they do. They do. I don't want to use too much of this guy's video because it's a man named Ian Harrison, and he was filming at the event, and he's a small-time YouTube creator, so I don't want to like steal his video or anything, but his name is Ian Harrison's Views of Las Vegas. I don't want to steal his video. I just want to show you what it looks like. But this is his video from the event, and I'll just scan through it very quickly. I won't play it, but you can kind of see what it is. So they run around. I guess this is what barrel racing is. They sort of have to follow the path for it. Sort of like a figure eight type thing. They go around and they have to go through and around. There's probably different courses that they have to do. It's crazy that it's indoors. Crazy. I thought it would have been outdoors, like outside. But it looks like it's mostly an indoor event. Put it in. Yeah, I will. I will put it. Actually, I'll link to it in the chat for now, and then I will put it in the comment in the details too. So this is Ian's channel here. If you want to go watch the entire, I think it's like, oh, it's only like 3 minutes, but he has more videos from the event if you want to go look at them, and they are from his time at the National Barrel Horse Association Las Vegas Super Show. And that's sort of what they do. SP1 said, I did jumping as a kid with horses, but never barrel racing. Outdoors is too hot. Looks like it's indoors. This looks like this is undercover. Oh, I don't want to play it. Yeah, look, it's got a roof. This is all enclosed, like a giant exhibition hall. That's what it looks like to me, like some sort of exhibition hall that they've turned into like a horse racing thing. I don't know what you'd use it for other days of the year. Sweet Universe said, I saw barrel racing when I lived in Washington and went to rodeos. I've never been to a rodeo. I'd like to go. Jules said, you are judged by how close you can get to around the barrels without knocking them down in the fastest time. Okay, that makes sense. I hope the horses don't hit the barrels because they're not empty, right? They'd be filled with sand or something like that to keep them upright. Pretty interesting. It's like a skill with the horse and the rider. Yeah, well, it's Las Vegas, right? It's bloody hot as nuts out there. SP1 said that's why it's indoors too hot in Vegas. They can change it to be an ice rink. An ice rink? Mud monster trucks, all this. Really? It can be an ice rink? That's a hell of a flip. You're like, hey, on Saturday we got horses and sand. On Monday night, we got ice hockey. And then what else did you say? The next week on Saturday, we got mud and monster trucks. All in one week. Come and see ice skating horses and monster trucks. All in one event. That's pretty cool, actually. Chipmunk said, I don't think I do good at barrel racing at my age. I knock crap off the counter when I walk by. That's your practice. You have to walk around your kitchen and lounge room without knocking things off. That is your, practice session. Diane said, barrel racing is too tough for me, but my Mustang loved it. Yeah, I mean, they're working horses, so they probably love it. Marlene said, they have rodeos in Vegas throughout the years indoors. I'd love to go to one. Maybe when I head to America, I'll go to one. Chipmunk said, they do that locally at my arena. I did not know that. What is this arena? South Point Casino. South Point Casino, Las Vegas. Okay, let's have a look. It's in a casino? How does that work? I'm so confused by how they can actually fit that inside a casino. Being so confused. Like, I've been to Las Vegas. I've been to casinos in Las Vegas, and I'm still confused on where you would put a horse racing event inside a casino. Hey, I'm gonna have a look. Let's have a look on the map. I'm not gonna take you to the maps. I just want to sort of know for myself. Oh, okay. They got like a giant event space on the other side. Okay. I get it. Wow, they built like a giant building just for events, just for different types of things. The other side of it on the far right is sort of the casino, and looks like there's hot dogs and some sort of buffet, some sort of prime rib type place, and then on the other side is an event headquarters type thing. Pretty cool. Okay, yeah, it's got like a giant undercover thing. Okay, cool. I can't believe they built that just for that. Yeah, I saw it, Joe. It's on the opposite side. It's near the highway. So the front entrance is on the opposite side to the highway, and then there's like a giant factory looking thing next to the freeway highway type thing. Woman of Steel said, you must go to a rodeo sometime. It's so much fun. I'll go to a rodeo on one condition, that it's either in Oklahoma, Texas, or like Kansas or something like that. I will do that. But That's where I'd like to go. I'd like to go in one of those 3 states of America. Jesse said this one is one of a kind. They don't normally have horse facilities in the center of a city. I remember when it was built. Yeah, I've never heard of something like that before either. Marlene said they have the barn right there also for the horses. Do they? Let me go back. Maybe it's not in the... Oh, they do too. Is that it right there? Let me have a look. Oh, it won't let me in. There is like a red roof building that looks like a... Could be a barn. Sort of looks like one. Sort of where you would hold horses or something. Here, I can probably show you guys. Go here. There's this building here. This is what I would have thought was the maybe the barn. And here's like the hotel and casino. And this is what I was thinking is the event area, because like it's just massive. I figured it would be under this area somewhere, probably like under here. But it's monstrous. The amount of space this is taking up is huge. It's huge. Look at the car park alone. You know what's funny, guys? In Australia, there's just like not a lot of car parks that are this big. We don't have like car parks that are this monstrous. It's pretty rare unless you go to like a mall or something like that. But in normal other places, no, they don't have them. Nothing that can fit cars like this anyway. Nothing that can fit like that many cars. So yeah, this is the South Point Hotel and Casino right here. Oh, they have another hotel in here and a swimming pool. What a fun place. What a fun place to stay. Well, I hope no one that was in town for the true crime thing was staying all the way over here and then got involved with the horse thing. I hope not. All right, there we go. SPL said the field house at MSU next to my house transforms from a basketball arena to a rodeo arena to a monster truck rally. That's crazy to me. Woman of Steel said we used to go and watch my uncle and cousins. My one crazy cousin was a rodeo clown for a while. Montana has some great rodeos. Would like to go up to Montana. I've only been up to Montana a couple of times and not for very long. Kelly said giant parking lots are not common there. I can't imagine them not having them. They're not common here. They're not like we have car parks, but they're not like that. Let me see. I'll see if I can find one of our sort of big ones for you. If I can find like an overhead view of it. Maybe this one. This is a mall in Australia. This is one of the bigger ones. And like the car park is mostly undercover. You guys can't really see it. A lot of the car park is under here, this big square thing that you can see. This is like a multi-story underground car park. So you would drive in and then it's under here. And this is the one that's above ground. It's not very big for such a mall that's so massive. It's yeah, very, very different to the way I guess you guys maybe do it in your places in America. So yeah, it's a lot of the car parks here are multi-story because we don't have the room to do those massive car parks that you have that are above ground. So a lot of them are sort of like built underground. That's tiny. Here, I'll show you the largest shopping center or mall in the Southern Hemisphere. Here. Let me see if I can find an above. If I can find an above, yeah, here, this is a good one. This one's a little bigger. This is the largest shopping center in the Southern Hemisphere. It's not a great photo, but it sort of shows you the parking. So these are like, there's actually 4 car parks here. There's this one, This one's a multi-level that goes down into the ground, like 3 levels. And then the one on the north side here, this is now bigger. They just renovated it and it goes up higher. I think this is like 8 levels. This one up the top corner. And then there's one actually over on the side here that you can't see. That's another one that looks like the one on the bottom here. So this is the largest shopping center in the Southern Hemisphere. And this is probably the biggest car park I've seen. That's yeah. Chipmunk said, "Would you rather ride a bull or be a rodeo clown?" I'm gonna pick neither. I want to be the announcer in the box with the microphone, saying funny things to the crowd. That's what I want to do. Jules said, "At least half have cars to park." Yeah, that's true. So yeah, there you go. Marlene said, "I'm not a big fan of parking garages. They creep me out." So yeah, I wonder if you have never seen that about the differences. SP1 said that looks like a 90s California mall and parking. This is the largest shopping center in the Southern Hemisphere. It is pretty freaking big. Let me show you. Above. Trying to see, there's a lot of overhead views of it. I'm just trying to find a good one. Yeah, that's probably a pretty good one. This is what it looks like today. This is how big it is nowadays. It's been renovated a number of times, but this is Chadstone Shopping Center in Victoria, the largest shopping center in the Southern Hemisphere. This thing is like the size of an entire suburb. It is. You can't even drive around it really. It's just so stupidly big. To get over the other side here, you have to basically go down the highway here and either cut through the car park here, or you have to jump on another road, which is this southern road here. This is Warrigal Road, and you have to jump on Warrigal and then come up through this entrance here. But yeah, there you go. That is the largest shopping center in the Southern Hemisphere. It's pretty damn big. To walk from one side of it to the other is like a 20-minute journey. It's like a 20-minute journey. And trying to find certain shops and things, you need a map because it's multiple levels and it's multiple sections, and there's even like a Prada and Gucci and Louis Vuitton. There's a very fancy bit on the top level, which is like for like high fashion and stuff like that. So yeah, this is not too far away from where I live. This is like 10 minutes away. Marlene said, "Was that mall where the stabbing was and the female cop stopped it?" No, that was in Bondi in New South Wales. This is in Victoria where I live. The one in Bondi is nowhere near this big. Chipmunk said, "Funny names like that." There's funny names like that. Chipmunk said, "It's pretty damn big. That would be a good name." That's what she said as another. Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm going to call it. It's the That's What She Said mall, where everything is misogynistic and there's no females whatsoever. It's a males only, apparently. No. It's a very inclusive mall. There's more females that go here than males because the fashion and the shopping here is probably one of the only places in Victoria where you can actually go and try on certain brands of clothing because they just don't have physical stores anywhere else. They only have it here. So yeah, it's just massive, this stupid thing. And they keep expanding it every year. Every year they make a new car park. Every year they make an extension. Every year they buy some more houses and land and make it bigger. Every year. Joe Schmo said, "Where can I get a Michael Kors handbag to match my new pumps?" I think you could get it there. I don't know who a Michael Kors is, but you could probably get it there. What is Michael Kors? Is that a fancy brand? I've got no idea. Warner Steel said a game mall. It's progressive. It could be. That's right. So yeah, there you go. The differences between it. So like when you see those ones in America that are just, we think that one in Chadston is massive. The ones like in America just dwarf it. Like that one at the South Point Hotel Casino is probably twice as big land-wise, I would say, compared to that mall that I just showed you. All right. We're going a little far off topic now. But yeah, there's the differences if anyone wanted to know. And yeah, so very sad for the horsies. Hopefully this girl is going to actually get in some trouble. I am trying to just find out if she's actually fronted a court as of yet. Yeah. Let's just find out if she's been in court yet or not. So apparently we're not likely to actually figure out if she's actually been in court or not because she's under the age of 18. The LVMPD has processed her as a juvenile, and that means that unless she gets changed to an adult to stand trial, which is unlikely in this particular event, she will be dealt with under the youth offenders laws in Nevada. They're saying in Nevada, an initial detention hearing for a juvenile typically occurs within 24 to 72 hours after arrest, and this does not include weekends. So they have up until Wednesday to put her in front of a judge for a first appearance. And they're saying here, no details about her initial appearance have been made public at all. And no one from the family has spoken out. So they're probably obviously trying to make this go away. Kelly said she should never be allowed near horses again. Do you think the National Barrel Horse Association is going to let her anywhere near their events ever again? I'm guessing she's probably got a lifetime ban. They are never going to allow her anywhere near the event ever again. Actually, you know what's really interesting? You know how we just spoke about Chadston Shopping Center? A few days ago, there was a cold case from 1994, and it was back when Chadston was a smaller but still very large mall. Here, I'll show you. Police arrest man over 1994 armed robbery at Chadston Shopping Center. And apparently he was in Queensland at the time. They were investigating it as part of a cold case investigation into an alleged armed robbery and shooting at the Melbourne Chadston Shopping Centre in 1994. 32 years ago, 2 Armour Guard security officers and a bystander were allegedly shot by a man at the shopping centre before he allegedly escaped with bags of cash. Police have charged a man with armed robbery, and reckless conduct endangering life. That's very interesting about how they tracked him down after so many years. Here is a shoe that apparently he lost during the Armour Guard robbery, and they were trying to track down who this person was. Apparently, he's 78 years old now. Must have been in his 40s at the time. His name is Gary Sullivan. He was taken into custody after police from the Gold Coast Major Organized Crime Squad searched 2 Gold Coast properties a few days ago. He has been charged with a series of offenses, including armed robbery, intentionally causing serious injury, reckless conduct endangering life, and carrying a gun without a certificate. He appeared in Southport Magistrates Court on Friday and is set to be released into the custody of Victoria Police and extradited to Victoria. Interesting. I wonder if we can get a update on this one. I didn't even think they looked at, old armor guard robberies from the 90s. I didn't even think that was a thing. Yeah, I wish I could take you out to... Maybe I can. I'd like to take you out to Channel 7 Melbourne, but I don't know if we can. I can't take you there for some reason. Ah, yeah, here we go. Gonna take you to Channel 9 instead.
A breakthrough arrest today in the 1994 Chadstone Shopping Centre heist, where 2 guards were shot. McKenna Bailey is on the Gold Coast with the latest developments. McKenna, an elderly Queensland man will now be extradited to Melbourne.
Tom, after facing a Gold Coast court this afternoon, the accused shooter will be extradited to Melbourne tomorrow afternoon. 78-year-old Gary Leslie Sullivan was arrested on the Gold Coast this morning over an armed robbery and shooting at Chadstone Shopping Centre in 1994. It comes after Victoria Police reopened the cold case earlier this month and a public plea from one of the victim's family members. The Southport man is accused of shooting 2 armour guard officers and a Good Samaritan before taking off with more than $80,000 in cash. After more than 30 years, he's now facing a string of offences, including armed robbery, theft, and multiple counts of intentionally caused injury.
Look at that old footage from back in the day, like back in the 90s. You see all this old crime footage. There's the bystander who was shot. So he was not actually one of the armor guards. There's one of the armor guards. It was a innocent bystander who ended up taking a bullet during that robbery. So yeah, he's under arrest. He's almost 80 years old. By the time he sees a trial, he'll probably be 80. What happens to almost 80-year-old Gary Sullivan, who obviously moved to Queensland at some point? Apparently, he is a former rugby league player as well. I'm trying to find if I can find a photo for him. There we go. Here he is right here. And this was back in the 26th of October 1991, not too far, about 3 years before he did that robbery at the shopping center. Here is his playing card from when he used to play, looks like, don't know if that's rugby or union. Almost looks like union. But there you go. There is him and his playing card from back in his football days. And he is now almost 80 years old. And he is now going to be tried for crimes from the 90s. I don't know what happens then. You guys will have to tell me. What happens if they're 80 years old? Do they still go to jail? Are they going to say he's too old? Hey, Hippie Happy. Gold Coast is freezing. It is freezing in Melbourne, Hippie. It is very cold here too. Jesse said, apparently Chadstone is 2.6 million square feet. Mall of Americas is 5.6. Really? It's almost double? Oh my god, that I can't imagine something doubly as big as that one. Hold on. Apparently it is the biggest mall in Northern Hemisphere. Holy crap, it is bigger. Oh my god, hold on. How can we get an overhead view of this? Just trying to find like the overhead view of it. Yeah, it's pretty big. Pretty monstrous. Wow, I can't believe that one. Yeah, it is. But maybe it's car parking. Look how big the car park is compared to the one I showed you from Victoria. Again, we talk about car parks. But look how big the car park alone is. The car park in Chadstone is not that big. All the ones in Chadstone are underground. Yeah, I reckon it's probably about the same. The actual shopping center bit is probably the same size, but the car parks probably make it bigger. The fact that you have these three, you got two above ground multi levels, one here, and then you've got this really massive above ground parking, and then another one over here. But I think that might be IKEA. There is another one over here. It's pretty big. Pretty big. So there you go. Anyway, I want to go back to our football card. There we go. So let me have a look. What do they say here in the arresting thing here? So he's been charged with armed robbery, intentionally caused serious injury, 2 counts of intentionally caused injury, reckless conduct endangering life, theft, common law assault, carrying pistol without certificate, and the Commonwealth offense of dealing with property reasonably suspected of being proceeds of crime. Now, you may be asking, Ping, I haven't heard of some of these offenses before. And you go, Ping, can you tell me why they sound a little weird? I can. And I believe what is going on here is he has to be charged as if it is 1991. Because that's when the crime happened, some of these laws and terminology are not used anymore. Like this one, the Commonwealth offense of dealing with property reasonably suspected of being proceeds of crime. Now I think it's just called proceeds of crime. It doesn't have this long name on it. And I think that's what's going on, is that they have to charge him of when he did the crime itself, like in 1994. So that is what's going on. It's first one. They're saying here around 11:40 a.m. on the day, they exited the complex carrying 3 bags of cash when they were confronted by a lone male offender wearing a balaclava and carrying a handgun and a cardboard box. The 54-year-old man was shot in the lower leg. The round struck him in the right ankle before ricocheting into the shoe of a 61-year-old man. A 40-year-old Doveton man, a Good Samaritan, was also shot in the leg, causing life-altering injuries. All 3 men were conveyed to hospital to be treated for gunshot wounds. That was back in 1994. So yeah, this guy, I don't know what happens. I really don't know what happens to you if you're like, let's go back to 1994, sorry. He was arrested in 1991 for a different crime. The robbery happened in 3 years later in 1994. So there you go. Just that those numbers were leasable retail square. Just for the shops. Wow. Well, this thing must be absolutely monstrous. Apparently, the one in Minnesota is actually getting bigger. They're actually making it even larger. Crazy. I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty bonkers. I don't know what you do in a mall that is almost 5.5 million square feet. You could walk around it for the entire day and not see everything. You could probably go there multiple times. Bonkers. I have never been to the Mall of America. I don't think I've ever been there. Yeah, I've not been there. I was just checking because there was a mall we went to in Illinois, but I don't think it's this one. Unless there is one in Illinois. Maybe. Maybe we did go to one in Illinois. I remember that the one we went to had a roller coaster inside of it, and I went on the roller coaster. But I don't remember if that was... Yeah, I don't remember if that was a Mall of America or not. Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, let's go back. You were born in 1991? You youngin', you youngin'. SP Mama said, I think you can get away with a murder. You should be charged with the laws of the day you get found out. in order to make it just that the police and detectives have to waste so much time and effort. So you think they should be charged with a modern day offense? I think that's probably pretty fair. Kelly said you probably went to Woodfield in Illinois. Could have been. And a themed hotel. I don't think I've been to a themed hotel. Espionage said never been to a Mall of America either, but quite a few of them do have roller coasters and ice skating. Wow. I don't think any of ours have ice skating or a roller coaster. Yeah, none of ours have that. All right. What else did I have for you? I had something else I wanted to talk to you about, and now I can't remember because we talked about malls for too long. What was it? Hold on, I want to look at this. What happened here? No. Don't want that. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm just trying to find. There was an update for another story that we were waiting for on Monday. And now I've got to find it in my links. So entertain yourselves and talk about malls. No, don't talk about malls. There we go. That's what I wanted to talk to you about. Found it. I want to go to Iowa, which is funny because we just spoke about Iowa and Illinois before. There was a crazy family massacre in Iowa today that claimed 7 lives. Can you believe that? 7 people. I'm going to take you out there if I can. If my links work. We're having a weird time with our links. Hold on. Yeah, Muscatine. That's where we're going in Iowa, which is right on the border. I want to take you to Wavy, which sounds weird, but apparently that's their news station. Yeah, we're going to take you out to not Wavy, but I am going to take you out to WQAD News 8. And then maybe we're going to go to KWQC Plus after that.
Today, I simply do not have the words. This act of evil and what it has done to our community. First and foremost, there is not an active threat to our community. Today, Monday, June 1st, 2026, at approximately 12:12 p.m., Muscom received a report of a shooting at 210 Park Avenue in Muscatine. Officers and emergency medical personnel were dispatched immediately. Upon arrival, officers located 4 victims inside the residence. All 4 victims had suffered gunshot wounds and were pronounced deceased at scene. The adult male suspect had left the residence prior to law enforcement's arrival, but was quickly identified as Ryan Willis McFarland, 52 years, Muscatine, Iowa. Officers located McFarland on the Riverfront Trail near the pedestrian bridge. While talking to Ryan Willis McFarland, he took his own life. Officers and EMS personnel rendered aid, however, he was pronounced deceased at the scene. During the initial stages of the investigation, information was developed indicating that there may be additional victims. Officers subsequently located an adult male deceased from an apparent gunshot wound inside his residence at 1509 Mill Street in Muscatine, Iowa. Officers then responded to a business located at 808 Grandview Avenue, where they discovered another male deceased from an apparent gunshot wound. The preliminary investigation indicates the shooting stemmed from a domestic dispute. At this time, all victims are believed to be family members of the deceased. The Muscatine Police Department is being assisted by the Muscatine Fire Department, the Muscatine County Sheriff's Department, the Iowa State Patrol, and the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigations. The investigation remains active and ongoing. Detectives continue to process crime scenes and conduct witness interviews. We are asking anyone with information related to this incident is encouraged to contact Lieutenant David O'Connor at the Muscatine Police Department. Please contact them at the Major Crimes Unit at 563-263-9922.
I'm going to take, yeah, pretty brutal, right? 7 people, and they're talking about this as like a multi-area shooting. I don't know much about Muscatine in Iowa. I do sort of know Iowa a little bit. I've been there quite a number of times, and they're saying KWQC is saying that this particular person has a very nasty past history, and I am going to take you out there in a minute. Apparently, in 2012, he pleaded guilty to child endangerment / death. And in 2019, he pleaded guilty to fraudulent practices, and that apparently he used to live at 210 Park Avenue, whatever that means. But I am going to take you out there in a moment. Here you go.
All right, Chandler, thank you for that update. Our Investigates team has also been hard at work on this story and uncovered several crimes from the shooter, Ryan McFarland's past. McFarland pleaded guilty to child endangerment, which resulted in death. That was back in 2012. In 2019, he pleaded guilty to 2 counts of felony fraudulent practice, and that charge tagged him as a habitual offender. We also learned that 210 Park Avenue was once McFarland's home. That's where police were called first, just after noon today. We do not know if that was his current address as of today when the shooting happened. If you are in crisis or in need of emergency mental service, hotline violence situation.
All right, let's have a look at it. They're saying, so his name is Ryan McFarland, and he's responsible for killing 6 people between 3 locations. What the hell? I just don't get it. I just don't understand why you would do that. I'm just trying to find if we have a photo of him. Ryan McFarland. I don't think that's him. No, that's not him. All right, that's not him. I don't know if we do have a photo of him actually right now. But they're saying that apparently he got hit with several charges for fraudulent business practices in 2018. And the original complaint from that one starts with McFarland lying about how many miles were on a car he was selling by tampering with the odometer, but ended up with payouts to more than 10 people and a guilty plea to 2 felonies of fraudulent practice, which tags him as a habitual offender. He ended up paying $58,000 in restitution for that one. And then he decided to attack all these people, 6 people, and then himself. The school district said 2 people killed were students of a local school and 2 were employees of the local school. So obviously some sort of children were involved. Terrible. They're saying the Muscatine Community School District confirmed Monday evening that 2 of the victims were district employees and 2 were current students. Yeah, they said the person identified was 52-year-old Ryan Willis McFarland of Muscatine, who fled the scene and was later located on Riverfront Trail near the pedestrian bridge. They said he fatally shot himself after the events. And they're saying a preliminary investigation indicates this was a domestic incident and that the people killed are believed to be family of McFarland. Brutal. To do that and then take out everyone with you is just such a, we talk about family annihilators all the time on this channel. And then we see it in this kind of practice where it's like multiple generations, multiple people. It's hard to understand those ones. Like we talk about serial killers and we understand some motivations of that, but the family annihilators are so, it's so bizarre, the offending. It's just, and it seems to be becoming more common. The whole I'm going to get everyone with me mentality be happening more often. That these people are like, yeah, I'm going to take everyone out of my family. It's just brutal. It really is. Can't believe that. So if people don't know where it is, I'm just going to show a little map from We Are Local News 5.
And breaking in eastern Iowa, Muscatine police are investigating a series of shootings that left 6 victims and the suspected gunman dead today. Officers first responded to a home where they found 4 people shot and killed. Police say the suspect later died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Investigators then located 2 more victims at separate scenes. Police believe this stemmed from a domestic dispute and say the victims are family.
Terrible, terrible. I don't even know what to tell you about it really, except for anytime we hear of these type of just mass killings, it's very hard to understand, very hard. I don't get it. I don't understand why they do it. It's like I don't understand what the mentality behind it is. Like yourself, I get it. But then to take multiple people who you reckon you love and they reckon they're family, it's very hard to understand. Just trying to see if there's any more about him, but there doesn't seem to be a lot else. Oh. 210 Park Avenue. I'm gonna just have a look at like what is there. 210 Park Avenue. It looks like it's just a family home. That's 215. We want 210. That's 212. Just trying to see if I can find it for you. It's got to be this one. No, it's 12. 14. Okay, then it's back here. What did they show on here? Give me a sec, guys. I'm just trying to find. Oh, it is that one. Okay. So I believe it's probably this house here, this brown one right here. And if we look on the map, that's 210. Yeah, there you go. That's what it looked like before. You know, inside of those lines. Very nice, typical American home. Got a nice deck out the front. It's got a very country vibe to it. Very country vibe with that very rustic sort of balcony fence on it, and all the wood, a lot of wood grain used on it. It's very got a real country vibe to it. But yeah, there it is. There's your property, and then this afternoon you can see it looks like that with all the tape surrounding it. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you gifting a membership to someone. Oh, Sweet Inverse said, Sean gave me my first membership. That is very kind, very kind. I didn't even smack the like button. You should. Hey, you should. But yeah, sad, guys. What causes these people? I just don't get it. It's like that one in LA we read about the other day where the guy went in, killed his girlfriend, her mum, and his 2-week-old baby, but left the 3-year-old. It's very strange. Very strange. Oh. Let's look at this one. We always like it when lost people are found. There was a guy, skeletal remains found in a park identified as a man missing. Daniel J. Senovich, and apparently Kewanee police said that his next of kin had been notified. Wow. When was he found? In 2022. He's been missing since. Yeah.
Just into our newsroom, we're learning the identity of the human remains found at Northeast Park last week. According to an autopsy report, the skeletal remains belong to 47-year-old Daniel J. Cernovich. He was reported missing on November 18th, 2022. Now, this is still an ongoing investigation.
All right, let's look up his name. Daniel Kawani. All right, let's look up where and why did he go missing? So apparently the guy of the remains that they found, this is him. This is Daniel. And they found him in the Northeast Park. He'd been declared missing in November of 2022. And they determined that they found a near complete skeletized remains of an adult male. And now they have identified it as him. They said in their autopsy, they found no indication of evidence of tool markings or intentional dismemberment, no gross antemortem blunt force or penetrating trauma. And so it sounds like he may have died from some other reason. According to the missing persons complaint, Daniel was last seen in a woman's company in the early morning hours of November 16 at Misty's Bar. The woman told police she had given Daniel a ride to the location he had been staying, which he said was a garage belonging to a resident on West 5th Street. According to the woman, Daniel wanted to go to Woods Bar on East 80th Street, but she and him got into an argument and he demanded to be let out of the car. At approximately 2 a.m., she pulled over at Railway Avenue and East Street, and Daniel, dressed in a black hoodie and jeans, got out of the car. That's the last time he was seen. After the complaint was filed, police attempted to find him but came up empty. Officers placed a call to his cell phone, but it was disconnected. They also visited the residence of Daniel's father and were advised that he had not seen or heard from Daniel in about 4 days when he had taken his son some food. One officer also went to Misty's Bar where the bartender informed him that he hadn't been there that day. And the bartender at Woods Bar told an officer that Daniel hadn't been in the bar for a long time. Okay. On March 6, 2023, police said a man cleaning up his property north of Northeast Park found clothing, a wallet, and a phone, all belonging to Daniel among the trees. According to police, no one has reported seeing him since he was first reported missing in November of 2022. And he was found in the park? Yeah, he was found in Northeast Park. So, did he leave this girl's car, walk off into the park, and die? Or did that girl that he was last seen with have something to do with his death? Ruggs? You reckon it's Ruggs? It could be Ruggs. Warner still said, didn't you bring this story to us when his skeleton was found? I probably did. Marlene said, sounds like he was down on his luck living in a garage, helping food from family. Well, we've done a lot of stories that are very similar to this. We've done thousands that are very, very similar. Jules said, reminds me, anybody ever watch Alaskan Bush People, the oldest brown? So Matt committed harikara. Yeah, I know what that means. I'm confused. Let's have a look at Northeast Park in Iowa. Wait, what town was it? Is this in the town of Carroll? What town is this? This is Kewanee. Kewanee. Northeast Park. Oh, this is Illinois, not Iowa. Northeast Park. I mean, it does have like a lot of wooded area. Like, see, there's a golf course. They call this Northeast Park here. I mean, there is a lot of like parkland, like over here and up through here. I'm guessing they probably consider this all Northeast Park as well. I mean, I don't think he would have been found here, right? In the back of like a baseball diamond. That's what it's called, Northeast Park. It even has its own thing here. I don't know. Do you think someone's human remains could be in this park for that long? For 3 years and no one find it? I wonder. I'm confused that someone could be here for that long and no one saw human remains out here. It's a pretty manicured park. It's not like super overgrown or something like that. I mean, unless he was under like the trees here in the corner. Yeah, I'm a little confused. It's a very manicured, highly populated. Obviously, a lot of people come here and play sport throughout the months. I am a little confused that no one would have found him before now. Was it below freezing? It would have been. The fact he went missing in November of 22, it would have been very, very cold in Kauai. Just trying to see. So apparently he had been in jail. Just prior to his disappearance, he had been in the Dixon Correctional Facility after serving just under a year for charge of aggravated battery in a public place. And then on November 18, 2022, a female friend came to Kauai Police Station to report him as missing. And that's that lady he was with in the car. Then they say here, on March 6, 2023, police said a man cleaning up his property north of Northeast Park. North of Northeast Park. It's got to be like here. I'll show you. Like here. You see all the grouping of trees? There's all these trees and there's a Lutheran church here, but they said a man. Like here, there's something here. North. Or like maybe here? There's a person's property like right here. And there's a whole bunch of trees right here. So maybe this is where they found the phone and then human remains. I wouldn't exactly call this the park, but I guess it sort of is part of that area. Because these are the only homes that are north and then connected directly to it. And this does look like a highly wooded area. And it looks like something you would try clean up on your property. So yeah, I guess he could have been here for years until someone stumbled across his remains. Maybe not this far north. Thavi said, I'm thinking died somewhere else and was brought back to the park. You might be right. Yeah, I know, just north of the park. Well, this is just north of the park. Like if you look, this is the park, right? There's the edge of the park right here. This is just north of the park. There's nowhere else. If you go over here, this is a church. This is the Lutheran church. I mean, maybe here, but this looks like pretty private property. I would think it would have to be accessible from the road and the park, which this is Main Street right here. Yeah, this looks more likely. I mean, it could have even been here, I guess. But it sounds more likely than him being like here because it's too manicured. How sad. Sad that his remains sat there for like years. Gayla said, I mean, so groundskeeper wouldn't be going there probably. I don't think so. I don't think they're going that far north because I reckon it's not public property here. Even though it's open, it's probably not the same property. See how they manicure all this with the mower? A ride-on mower, you can tell by the pattern. But they only go to like the boundary here. There's a boundary line right there. So I probably in here somewhere. Pretty sad. Pretty sad this dude either OD'd, bent over and died and perished. And no one found him until someone was just cleaning up the area. Pretty horrible. Pretty horrible, Mr. Daniel. I'm sorry that you ended up in a park, sir. It's a tragic end for anyone, really. Espionage said, but they didn't find any indication of blunt force trauma or any trauma, so drunk man stumbles along and falls and dies of elements. Less likely girlfriend kills him, hides him, and dumps him after years. I mean, November in Illinois is going to be pretty cold. Let's have a look. Kewaunee temps in November. It is freezing overnight in Kewaunee, Illinois in November. It gets down to 31 degrees overnight. And yeah, somewhere between freezing and just above freezing, depending on the day. And then the daytime highs are between 49 and 59. So it's pretty damn cold. You could probably freeze to death overnight at minus 1 in the southern hemisphere temperature in Celsius or 31 degrees Fahrenheit. You could easily die of the elements due to that. Yeah, it could have got hypothermia. Probably drunk, died of exposure. It sounds like they had been drinking that night. Yep. Pretty terrible. Pretty sad. Okay, all right. I'm just going to check if we had an update on our Modesto case. We do. Let's go to KCRA in a second. I'm going to take you out to KCRA on YouTube.
We're learning some new details about the man accused of killing 2 women and a child in Modesto. Homeland Security tells us the suspect was in the country illegally. Today, Joaquin Escoto Vasquez pled not guilty to stabbing and killing a grandmother, a mother, and a 2-week-old baby last Thursday. He is being held without bail. DHS says Vasquez first entered the country in 2018 and was deported. He then illegally re-entered the U.S. They say his criminal history includes 4 prior DUI charges. The feds say in June of last year, they placed a detainer with the San Joaquin County Jail asking that he be turned over to ICE. We have asked San Joaquin County if that detainer was approved or denied. Another detainer is now placed with the Stanislaus County Jail following his arrest last.
Well, we knew about that. We knew he had snuck into the country 4 times and had been kicked out of the country multiple times. What are they saying here? They're saying he is from Mexico, was living in the country illegally, and that he is from Jalisco in Mexico. They're saying sanctuary politicians in California refused to cooperate and released him without notifying ICE. It's this is like the 50th story I've heard where if someone just had been turned over to ICE that was living illegally, that it's possible people wouldn't have been murdered. It's like the 50th story I've read this year alone. It's sad. Let's see here. That's very interesting. The suspect, Oscotto, was believed to be in a relationship with Gonzalez Nunez. Gonzalez Nunez. She has a first name. Interesting, because yesterday we only had the name Nunez, not the Gonzalez bit. Is the father of the uninjured 3-year-old who was found inside the home. Don't hear anything about the baby, though. Don't hear anything about if he's the father of the baby. They just say here, police said that Gonzalez Nunez was the baby's mother and Nunez Villalobos was the infant's grandmother. Escoto was believed to be in a relationship with Gonzalez Nunez and is the father of the uninjured 3-year-old. Don't hear anything about them saying that he's the father of the 2-week-old. Interesting. Maybe, oh no, but the baby's name is Mateo Oscotto Gonzalez. So it has her first name, like maiden name, and then the father's last name. No, it has his name as the first middle name, and then her name is the last name. But here it says he's only the father of the 3-year-old. Maybe this is what we said yesterday, that he found out that the baby that's 2 weeks old is not his. Or they're waiting on a paternity test. Because yesterday they were very sure that he was the father of the 2-year-old. Today they won't name him as the father of the 2-week-old. Interesting. Yeah, I figured there's something going on with that 2-week-old baby, unfortunately. Espion said it's two last names, Gonzalez. Mexicans often have 2 last names. I think her first name is something else. Yeah, no, that's the last name, right? So she has a hyphenated last name. Her last name is Gonzalez Nunez. She has a full name too. Yeah, her full name is Fabiola Gonzalez Nunez. And then the mom's name is Maria Silvia Nunez Villalobos. And then his name is Joaquin Escoto. I'm saying it like Joaquin Phoenix. You can sue me. Yeah, but they won't say who the infant's father is. Yeah, I'm saying they're waiting on a paternity test. Maybe he's told them something about that. Because yesterday they were hard reporting that he was the father. All right. I trying to see if he was in court. Yeah, it says he was supposed to be.
Of a brutal series of stabbings in Modesto, expected to make his first court appearance, is Joaquin Escoto, is accused of killing 3 people on Thursday, including the mother of 2 of his children. Over the weekend, the family of the victims came together trying to make sense of it all.
It's something we're trying to figure out still, because like my sister had said before, we never saw him act violent or nothing. We never expected this,
Family still taking donations for the funerals. ABC 10 will be at this afternoon's court hearing, and we'll have much more in our next newscast, which comes your way at 4 p.m.
There we go. As far as we know, he did appear in court today. He's been remanded into custody. I don't think he's getting out anytime soon on a triple homicide charge. I don't think he's getting out of jail anytime soon. I'm just trying to see what happened in court today. Yeah, arraignment. Let's have a look. They're saying here that the County Superior Court are saying that arraignment proceedings are actively moving forward but have not given out a specific date as of yet. And that okay, let's have a look. Apparently if we go to the county website, we might be able to see. Let's go here. It's searching. If it picks it up, I'll take you to it. Could work. Let's see if I've just put in his last name. Okay, it's not giving us anything. Weird. I'm surprised by that. Maybe you know how like sometimes when high profile cases get in the system and they take it off because they're trying to like just keep it from the public domain. I wonder if that's what's going on because it's not showing in the criminal court calendar. I'll have a look. Let me look. It's Escoto. That's not gonna work. All right, I'll try his middle name. No. Not sure what's going on, but under the county superior court, they're not like you can type in his name and you get nothing. Very odd. Let me just try his last name on its own. Sometimes they hide it though until they're ready to like actually show it to the public. It's thinking about it real hard. Okay. Victor. Nope. Nope. None of these match any of the people that we want. Yeah, none of these. And which one's an arraignment? This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. None of these match. So, and I know Vasquez is a popular last name, but none of these are his name. So what's going on? Not sure. He's not in the system as of yet. He's not in the county court. And here, I'll show you guys. None of these case file numbers are his. Why? I'm not sure. Maybe we're gonna have to wait another 24 hours until he's on the court record. Hey Missy, how are you? All right. We're gonna get out of here for this Monday night. Hey, I want to thank my friend Essa. Thank you, my friend, for the super chat. It helps out a lot. And for Sean for gifting a membership. That is very kind. You guys are very sweet. Let me just check here. By the way, I forgot to say my friend Nick gave a monthly membership. Thank you, my friend. That is very kind. Did I miss someone? Oh, no, that's my friend Greenlight. Did I miss anyone? Yeah, my friend Nick. Thank you, my friend. It's very kind. I appreciate you a lot. You're very, very kind. All right. I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have some interesting updates. It's a funny week. I have like no court all week this week. Unless something comes up, which does happen, and they're like, hey, are you coming in tomorrow at 8:30? That often happens. But as far as I know, this is a very quiet week for the Victorian court. Not for them, but for me. They've probably got other cases that they're doing, but for us, there's very quiet. By the way, I wanted to tell you about a documentary. If you like documentaries, I want to give you a recommendation. Head to Channel 4 in the UK. There's a series called 24 Hours in Police Custody. There was a story about a woman. So we hear a lot about DV cases, right? That are mostly there is mostly men. There's mostly men, right? Tragic man turned his love her coach. Yeah, I just want to see if we can find the actual guy. Yep, here. So the guy's name is Patrick. Is that the murders of Patrick Howard? That's not the right one. No. So the story that I wanted you to watch was a guy from Luton, and his partner beat him. She beat him, right? He had been picked up by the police before, and they were trying to talk to him. They were like, "Hey, what is going on? Why do you keep being like coming in with injuries?" And I don't think that's it either. Michael Gray? I don't think that's it. Anyway, I'll tell you the outline of it. She had been beating him for years, but in this last time, she fully attacked him. Like, absolutely beat the crap out of him to the point where he ended up having bleeding on the brain in 2 different places. And as you go through the documentary, he ends up in hospital for the brain bleed, but he's okay. Then he has a heart attack while in hospital from his injuries, and then he goes into a coma, and eventually he dies through the investigation. And the girl that was his partner, she's denying it, and she's like, "Oh, he beats me up." And apparently they had never once had a complaint that he had done anything to her, and she has a violent history. Like, the cops know her to the point where when she walks in the police station, they're like, "Oh, hi." I think her name is Lucy or something. They're like, "Hi, Lucy. Good to see you again," because she's in there so often. But it's a really sad case. I don't see a lot of male victim DV, either documentaries or crimes in general. And to see it from a male perspective is really interesting. They tried to approach him. They're like, "Can we help you? Can we get you out of there? Can we get you into some housing?" And time again, he sticks up for his partner. And he's like, "No, no, no, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong." And eventually she beats the shit out of him to the point where he dies from his injuries. And she didn't beat him with a weapon. She beat him up with her fists. And she's 50 kilos. 50 kilos in weight, and she beat this guy who's 6 foot tall and killed him with her fists. And it's one of the saddest documentaries I think I've ever watched, but it's called 24 Hours in Police Custody. And I believe that one is called, let me just double check. There's a lot of them. I think that one's called Till Death Do Us Part. I think that's the right one. Yeah, I'm going to say that's the right one, but Murder on Prescription, nope. Yeah, I'm going to say it's that one, Till Death Do Us Part. And it's really, really eye-opening about what happened to him. It's really sad too, the fact that he, yeah, just the fact that she beat him so severely that he had bleeding on the brain. And she's trying to flip the story that she'd never done something like this, and that he just falls down all the time, and he must have been drunk and fell over. Like, all the typical excuses that you hear from male perpetrators, she's saying the same thing. So yeah, it's called 24 Hours in Police Custody. It's season 11, episode 5. No, that's the wrong one. Not season. Why does it keep giving me the wrong episode? It's called Till Death Do Us Part. And I'll put it in the chat. But it's eye-opening about what male victims of DV go through. It's really shocking. It won't even let me put it in the chat. It said, "YouTube rejected your comment." I'm the channel owner. What are you talking about? Gail said she probably said they would laugh at him. There's a footage in the documentary where they're in the police station, and the cop tries to talk to him on his own, and she inserts herself between the cop and him, and then gets him out of the police station, and like makes him go. Wintersill said, "Have you covered the Sarah Boone case?" We did a little bit on that one too. That's very similar type of outcome, unfortunately. But yeah, if you want to see a different one that's like Sarah Boone, have a look for that one. I can't type it in the chat apparently. I'm not allowed to. Yeah, just would love to find his name. Why won't it give his name? Paul Jenner. That's it. 62-year-old Paul Jenner. And his partner's name is Sherry Naidu. That's it. Now I've got it. And that's the thing I wanted to tell you. Tell me how much time in jail do you think she did for killing her partner? Killing him. Tell me what you think. How long? 5 years? 25 years? 15 years even maybe? 10 years. Would that be a good sentence for killing your partner? You guys are going to be disgusted when you hear. She got 16 months in prison. 16 months. That's all she got. 16 months in prison for killing her partner. It's I couldn't believe it when I got to the end of the documentary and they said 16 months in prison. I was like, are you effing joking? 16 months. And she's already free, by the way. She's already out of jail. I couldn't believe it. I was like, how? Why? Why are we letting people out on the street that do that? It's shocking. I'm just trying to find the thing for you. Yeah, so Naidu was initially charged with murder and an alternate charge of manslaughter. In October 2020, the Luton Crown Court halted the trial and cleared Naidu of both the homicide charge and the manslaughter charge. The judge ruled there was insufficient evidence to prove the physical assault directly caused Jenner to fall or that she intended to seriously harm him. Naidu pleaded guilty to assault occasionally actually bodily harm, ABH, and was sentenced to 16 months in prison. In February of 2021, a coroner's inquest officially concluded that Paul Jenner was unlawfully killed. The coroner determined that Naidu's assault had set in motion the direct chain of physical events that led to his death. It's one of the craziest cases I've heard of. The fact that she pled guilty, the inquest even found that it was an unlawful killing, but the judge just went, there wasn't enough evidence to get out of here. And she should be in jail for life for what she did to him. It's brutal. A 200K Lego theft is a great story going around. There was another one like a year ago where someone stole multi-millions of dollars of Lego. They stole a truck which had a whole bunch of Lego on it. We covered that last one. That one happened around Christmas time, and I don't know how they figured out who took that much Lego, but apparently they did. Apparently they did. So yeah, have a look at that one. Apparently, I think a couple of channels have done a few documentaries on the Lego theft as well. The Lego theft alleges that corporate leadership and a new franchisee in the Bricks and Minifigs store in Salem, Oregon, illegally seized and sold a world-renowned Lego Star Wars consignment collection. The collection belonged to the Mantell family, whose son Brian placed it on consignment to help support his ill father. And they're saying Brian placed his father's $200,000 Lego Star Wars collection on consignment with the original owner of Salem Bricks and Minifigs. And they're saying when the original franchisee had to relocate abroad, corporate leadership stepped in with a new franchisee. The new ownership reportedly took control of the store's inventory and refused to return the sets or pay Brian out. claiming the consignment agreement was unauthorized. What a load of crap. What a load of crap that was. So they're just like, too bad, so sad. We sold the store and now it's not my problem. That's pretty slack. The fact that it was to help out his dad and his dad in a time of need. Pretty brutal. I'm trying to find a video where you guys can watch a bigger breakdown of it. I think Penguin Zero. So if you know Penguin Zero did a pretty big 50-minute video on the 200,000 Lego drama and theft that is going on. You can watch it on there. They basically just went, well, we sold the business. Who cares? We got a new person to run it. It's theirs to do what they want. He doesn't have the agreement with your dad or Brian, so screw you. That's basically what it was. Sean said Mormon cops are protecting the store owner. Scumbags, scumbags. Internet, do your thing and take down the store. Yes, watch Penguin Zero. Penguin Zero did a big video on it. Here, I don't have the link to his video on it, but I can tell you what it's called. Or XQC. XQC also did one as well for an hour and a half. Penguin Zero's video is called Lego Scandal is Getting Extremely Dangerous and Scary. So have a look for that. And if you want to watch it, you can head over to Penguin Zero's channel and check it out. Check it out, my friends. Hey, I love you all very much. I will be... yeah, we can do it tomorrow, Sean, if you want. If it's still a problem, we can have a look tomorrow. Hold on. Yeah, we can have a look tomorrow. I love you all. I'll be back. I'm sorry, I've got to run to an appointment. Have a good day. Be good tomorrow, and I'll see you then. Bye, everyone. Bye.